2, 1.
Welcome to Made for More Living.
One small step for man.
With Johnny Jennings.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
The fastest and most exciting hour of news, events, and real estate in Northern California.
And this is a fact that was proved.
Powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Get ready. Here we go.
If someone makes a mistake, they should 100% own up to it. Don't you agree, Matt?
I would agree that is the best route to moving on with your life. I teach that to my kids all the time. You know, If you try to hide it, then you're just going to get into more trouble. It's better if you just come forward and confess, hey, you stole a cookie or you did something wrong. You drew on the walls in the bathroom. Just tell me it was you. Or even last night, I'm telling Noah to eat his vegetables and I go in and into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And when I come back, they're gone. And I'm wondering, did you hide those somewhere?
He ate those pretty fast.
Right. I was like, God is watching. God is watching. So if you don't tell me the truth, you will go to hell.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
I'm just
Laying it on
kidding.
thick.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's better to just come forward sooner rather than later.
It's funny you mentioned kids because I actually learned this in marriage, right? It's better to, if you make a mistake, just own it and just be apologetic, grovel, do whatever it takes to make it right. But at least if you own it, then you can move forward in fixing the problem.
Yes.
But if you're in denial, or if they're like, no, I didn't do it, or you're in denial, say, I didn't make that mistake, when you know deep down you contributed to it at the least, you got to recognize the problem. And that's kind of what...
So this is like a daily thing for you and your wife, right?
Oh,
Because
gosh.
you are messing up all the time.
I'm messing up more than I'm getting it right.
Right.
And so I got the word track down. I know exactly what to say because... you just really have to own it. And there's a certain sense of integrity. There's a certain sense of, I believe, self-worth when you say, hey, I owned it, but I'm going to make it right.
Don't you wish our politicians lived by that motto? Own up to your mistakes quickly instead of just covering it up or even denying it or blaming it on someone else. I bet you in the real estate industry, Johnny, you see this on a regular basis where they just pass the buck and blame it on somebody else. So it's not me. It's this or this or this person.
Absolutely. And so, they wouldn't be a politician if they were accepting responsibility.
Right,
They're
exactly.
incapable of doing that. But as far as in our industry, there's a lot of different things, because what we're seeing right now is an increase in days on market. So homes are taking longer to sell. We're seeing an increase in inventory. So there's more homes competing to sell. And what's really interesting is the number of price reductions in the MLS have gone up. Like if you track it weekly, they've gone up over 400% since January.
Can I ask you a question? Longer days on the market, more days on the market. Is that homes across the board? Is that a certain price range? Is that a certain neighborhood? Or is that just everyone's experiencing that?
So I wouldn't say everybody's experiencing that, but if you look at like the national news or like a macro level, like the Sacramento region as a whole, you're seeing that across the board. But let's say it's a super competitive price point, like an entry-level price point. The house is fixed up. It qualifies for conventional financing. You're seeing those homes, and it's priced right. You're seeing those homes fly off the market. But people are still not willing to overpay even for those homes. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market because it's like, what's going to happen with interest rates? What's going to happen with prices? What's going to happen with the elections?
Right.
And so there's a lot of different factors that people are wrestling with that are leaving them uncertain. But there's a lot of reasons. Like we actually have a little white paper about how why homes fail to sell. There's 12 main different reasons, but some of them are agent related. Some of them might be the seller. Some of them might be client related.
So let's start off with the first one. A home's not selling. And how would you define that? How would you define that a home is not selling? When should they have it? Does that mean they're not getting any offers? Does that mean the offers aren't closing? They're not being coming through?
Yeah.
Does that mean that the home is on the market for longer than 30 days? How do you define a home is not selling?
So typically, like the first weekend, second weekend on the market, you can tell if you're not getting any showings, that's a red flag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you need to be getting showings. The next best thing, no showings is bottom of the barrel. Like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel with no showings.
And you mean by there's no other realtors visiting the house with clients?
Yeah, no clients, nobody showing up to the open houses, like no activity whatsoever on the home.
That's scary.
It's very scary. You're going to bed every night in your home wondering, why does nobody want to sell this home? I'm selling this home so I can move to X or so I can do Y. And that's put on pause until that home sells. And so every night you're going to bed and you're wondering why.
But what if you are getting a few showings?
So then the next level up is showings but no offers, right? So that means there is some activity, there is some interest, the marketing's working, people are seeing the property, but for whatever reason, they're not making an offer, okay? And the next level up, even better than that, is showings with offers, and the best level is showings with multiple offers. And so if you're looking at that spectrum of options, where does your home fall? And so if you're no showings, no offers, you immediately within 10 days, like you need to make some changes. If you're getting some showings and maybe some low offers or occasional offers, but you've been on the market for a couple of weeks, it's also dependent on the average days on market. So we'll look at it. Us, like Made for More, we will look at your neighborhood. How long is it taking on average for homes to sell in your neighborhood? And if we're under that, then if we're under those days on market, then there's no reason to really be alarmed. But if homes are selling in 15 days and now we've been on the market 25 days and there's like no offers, no rumors of offers, then okay, we need to figure out how to adjust this. How do we fix this? And so does that answer your question in terms of? Yeah,
that helps define, okay, this home is not selling.
Yeah. So it's just based off numbers. We always say this is real estate, not rocket science.
Right. So from your experience, when you see the home is not being shown, right? Nobody's showing up to the open houses. Other realtors aren't bringing anybody by.
Yeah.
That obviously is going to bring up some red flags for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to think, okay, what's the problem? Do I just have a bad realtor that they're not doing a good enough job marketing it? Is it just the economy? Nobody's buying houses? What does that tell you?
So if a home's sitting on the market and it's longer than the normal days and we're not getting any offers, there's a couple different factors that could be at play. One, and it's the one everybody jumps to, is it's the realtor's fault. Like, what are they doing? They're not doing their job. They did the 3 Ps. They put the sign in the yard, they put it in the MLS, and now they're just praying that buyer comes by and makes an offer on the home. So those are typically where people go, but there's more to it than that. So if the agent...
But would you say that's the main reason? Would that be your first, response is, hey, maybe you don't have a qualified realtor?
Yeah, so there may be some instances there because like the photos may be bad. You may not have a 3D tour. You may not have a digital marketing plan. You may not have we have a staff of people who will actually proactively, we have people who are hunting for buyers. So they're calling through the community. They're calling other real estate agents. They're proactively looking for buyers. So maybe if your agent isn't doing those things, then there's some opportunities for improvement.
And you should reach out to Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty, right?
As long as you're not in a contract. But if you're out of a contract, then by all means.
Come on, those California contracts, are they really that airtight?
Oh man, they are airtight. So realtor to realtor, they're airtight. Realtor to client, not so much. But realtor to realtor, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And so and we want to work with people who want to work with us. We're not trying to steal business from other people.
But sometimes it's not the realtor.
Sometimes it's not the realtor. Sometimes it is the condition of the home. So what we always say is when price and condition align, then that's when sales take place. So if your home is priced in a way and you're not getting any offers, well, then you have 2 options. You can either adjust the price or improve the condition of the home. So maybe it smells like dog and cat piss. Well, you know what? Change out.
Are we allowed to say that on the radio? I don't know. We'll see.
We're gonna. Yeah, the censors will let us know. But maybe make those repairs. If you have some broken windows or the paint's not there's some holes in the walls, the paint's scuffed, maybe make those lighter repairs. There are certain things you can do to drastically improve the quality of a home without spending a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
And
speaking of that, you have actually a program called the Fix It Before You List It program.
Yeah. Yeah, that great point.
So if you don't have the time or the money to get those repairs done, work with Johnny Jennings and Made for More Realty, and you guys have a program where you guys help with that.
Absolutely. So it's no money out of your pocket. It's just paid at closing out of the proceeds of the sale. You never even pay us directly, so we're not making money off of this situation.
Right.
We're just providing the service to help you. So if you'd like to learn more about that, you can just Google Made for More Realty and reach out to us there, or just call or text us anytime at 530-GET-MORE.
But obviously you want to make sure your home is presentable, that it's got some curb appeal, right?
Yeah.
That it takes good photos.
Yep. And so everybody typically knows, hey, maybe the realtor's not doing their thing. Everybody typically knows, okay, maybe it's price or condition. But what we've been running into a lot lately on both the buy and the sell side are the people living in there. So sometimes it's tenants, sometimes it's owners. And if the home is difficult to show, that is a huge red flag. That's a main reason why a lot of these homes don't sell, is because they only want the home to be shown during a small window of time. Or maybe the tenants say yes, and then they change their mind last minute and say, no, you can't come in. And then the homeowner is scared to ruffle feathers there because the people are living in this asset. They're living in this property.
Sure.
And they could do some damage while they're living there.
Right.
So that's the
So
other
that's
thing.
tough. Yeah, actually, when you're trying to sell a home where someone's living in it, especially all their furniture, and they haven't even began to move, that's really tough. I mean, I know if I was a home buyer, I want to go into a home where I can see somewhat of an empty canvas. I don't want to see clutter and just,
and tenants are just like they may have pets. You may have allowed your tenants to have pets.
Yeah.
Well, if they got an 80-pound German Shepherd in there, it makes sense for why they would want to be home during the showings, or so they can get the German Shepherd out of there. But if they're at work, they're not really going to take time off work to go pull the dog so they can help sell your house. So these
are things that you sit down with your clients and you say, hey, we're going to sell your house for the maximum amount of money and at a quick, fast. But these are some of the suggestions that we have and the tips on how we're going to get this done.
Absolutely. So we've sold, the company has sold over 11,000 homes, since it's been created. So our marketing plan works. There's no questioning that. What we're not exactly sure is how are the people in the home, whether it's owners or tenants, how's that going to work with showings? And we're not exactly sure about the pricing strategy. So right now prices are actually starting to come down a little bit. Nationally, I think they're down like 6%. The median's down 6%. And so that's a huge narrative change for sellers who thought, hey, I'm going to sell my house for top dollar. Okay, well, now we're starting to see like price adjustments just in the last week. 2,000 homes lowered their price in the last week. And so that is not an insignificant number. And so we'll get more into that and why that happens when we come back from the break. But just keep in mind, if you want to reach out and you want to learn more about how we help people get people's homes sold, get more with Made for More. Just text or call 530-GET-MORE. It's 530-GET-MORE.
Hey, if you're listening right now and you're thinking, I wonder what kind of offers Johnny Jennings could get me for my home, well, reach out and find out that he'll sell your home on average 27% faster than everyone else, and on average for a 3% higher purchase price than other realtors. Expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty, brokered by EXP. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 581837.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by EXP Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So, Matt, we were talking about reasons why homes don't sell. There's an increasing number of active homes on the market. There's an increasing number of price reductions that are taking place. And we were talking about why homes are not selling in today's market. And we didn't really touch on this, but one of the other reasons why is just affordability. Prices are still really, really high, and so are interest rates. And those two, both being high together, makes affordability an option, or a challenge for many people. And so we are actually seeing more of is families getting together and buying a home together, like multi-generational properties. And then
so like the kids get together with their parents.
Yeah. So
or
mom
maybe
and dad,
their siblings.
Mom and dad sell their home and then buy a house together with the kids.
Right.
Right. And then they have built-in babysitters for the kids. And then the parents have built-in, or the grandparents have built-in adult care as well.
Right.
for when they need it.
I mean, there's definitely some pros to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look appealing on one end, but then also there's probably some drawbacks too.
Well, can you live that close to your mother-in-law?
Yeah. I have some friends and they live down the street from their parents. So separate homes, which is ideal because,
Yeah.
you need a babysitter. They're right down the street. Just send the kids. Go down the street to grandma and grandpa's.
Yep.
On the other hand, you have grandma and grandpa popping in whenever they want, unannounced. And so that can be challenging. But
so when I got married, or actually I was engaged to Valerie, the guy I was working for at the time, he's like, Johnny, you got to move at least 3 hours away.
From your parents?
From my in-laws, because I was living and working in Bakersfield, and that's where Valerie's parents were at the time. And
it's true.
And so I was like, that's crazy. I love my in-laws. And then I was like, we ended up moving. Life took us a different direction, and it ended up being a good thing. So sometimes, it's not always great to have multi-generational people. But what we're also seeing, because again, that affordability is friends are starting to like say, hey, how about we just go in on a house together?
Interesting.
There's it's maybe multi-generational setup, or there's an ensuite, like a full master downstairs and a full master upstairs, and we'll just kind of divide and conquer.
And this would probably be a temporary situation, not long term, I would assume.
Well, you'd hope, yeah. So maybe,
because how would you manage that if you have kids?
Oh shoot, I don't know how. Or vacation homes. Right? Some people are doing this too, where they'll go in with their family or they're going with friends and like, hey, we go to Truckee all the time. How about we just get a place together?
Yeah.
Our money goes that much further if we pool resources.
I like that idea. But you don't think it's a good idea?
Well, at least not for me, and not for many people. It takes a special dynamic, like where both people are willing to give, because eventually there's going to be some winners and losers in that equation. For example, who gets the house on, if you're talking about Truckee, who gets the house on Thanksgiving, right? Who get what? Well, I want to bring my friends up. Well, what about my family? I want to bring my family this weekend, you know? And so now you're kind of like figuring out who gets what days. And then let's talk about the exit. Like, I want to sell the house, but I don't want to sell the house. Mm-hmm. Well, buy me out. Like, that's a sticky wicket.
Yeah, you'd have to outline that from the get-go, don't you think?
You can try. But like Valerie and I, like,
hey, here's our plan on holidays. Here's how we're going to figure that out.
Yeah.
And maybe there already is a planned exit strategy that you're okay, we're going to have this relationship for 10 years. Come 10 years, this is the exit strategy. We agree both to sell it, or if somebody wants to keep it, this is what the plan is. It's almost like you have to have a contract.
Oh, absolutely. You should definitely have a contract. You should definitely have this stuff in writing. But what's the phrase? If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Right.
And so all this looks great on paper, but when you're living it day in and day out, what happens if somebody gets a divorce? Oh my gosh! Now what are we doing with the property?
That wasn't in the contract.
That wasn't in the contract.
Right.
What happens if somebody loses their job?
Right.
And they can't help make the payment anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of you're just adding layers of complexity to it, and so.
So do you see this a lasting trend where friends are moving in with friends, or do you think this is just temporary because of the economy and the interest rates?
I think it has to do with. I think it comes down to affordability.
Right, but do you think this is long lasting? Do you think we will see more and more families purchasing a home together with another family?
As long as affordability is a challenge, I think you'll see people trying to figure out creative ways to make it happen. And it's an election year. Affordability is an issue with voters, but I don't really know what the government is going to do to change affordability.
Well, you do see more and more of those units that folks can build in their backyard.
Oh, ADUs? Yeah.
That's very popular now, so that's an option, right?
Yeah, and that improves affordability if you build an ADU. So one of our
and for those who are not familiar, explain what that is.
Accessory dwelling unit. It's like a detached. It's like a mother-in-law's detached. It's a detached unit where
it's like a shed in the backyard.
It's a yeah.
A little bit more though. This isn't something they're picking up at Home Depot, right?
No, so it's like these cost anywhere between $60,000 to $150,000.
Really?
Yeah. And so one of our dear friends, she actually specializes in reverse mortgages, and what she does is many of her clients choose to do is they have a lot of equity in their home, but they'd like to maybe have some more money coming in. And so what they'll do is they will pull out some money doing a reverse mortgage, home equity line of credit. So it's all this.
Sure.
And but they will actually use that to build this accessory dwelling unit, and so then that way they can put some tenants back there and have that money coming in. And so the government in that sense has done that. The government can help out in the sense of maybe lowering interest rates, but that has to do more with like inflation. And if you lower the interest rates, then more money's being created. So is that really solving the problem, or is that just making the problem worse long term?
Right.
But at the end of the day, it comes down to supply and demand. And it is just really hard to find places to build houses cost effectively. I don't care whether you're in Texas or whether you're in California, the costs are going up, and the government has put these restrictions on builders.
Well, Johnny, you're not sounding very optimistic and positive. Give us that spin on it and how you guys are being effective no matter what the interest rates or the economic conditions. You're still successful in selling people's homes and finding those right homes that are affordable and that home buyers want.
Yeah. So that's to say, the news is a lot of doom and gloom. They like to terrify, as Tom likes to say. Tom Davis always says the news likes to terrify rather than clarify.
Right.
And so, but the reality is thousands of people, like 3,000 people bought a house last week in the Sacramento region. So that was just last week. So thousands and thousands and thousands of people are doing this, and we can certainly help you with that as well. We help people make a move every 3 days on average.
Wow.
And so how are we doing that? It's really who you're associated with. So who are the vendors? Who are the lenders? Who are the movers? Who are the home inspectors? Who are the people that are going to help you throughout that process? Who's title and escrow?
Yeah.
Like there are some title and escrow companies that are fly by night. Like they are super flexible maybe with the rules and the regulations, and then there's other ones that are like, hey, I'm going to send you a packet at your house to verify that this is you, so we're not accidentally selling a house, like you're not a victim of title fraud,
right?
And so
that's what I like about you guys is it's not just Johnny Jennings. It's not one guy trying to sell hundreds of homes. It's a team that has strategies and resources and making sure that they're aggressive because obviously you are competitive. There's other realtors out there, and you are making sure that out of all the other offers that come through, yours is at the cream of the crop, and that when you're selling a home, you're getting the maximum amount of dollars for it, and you're marketing it in a way that's a lot better than the neighbor down the street's marketing their home, and that you're getting better offers. And so that's, I think, one of the things that I appreciate about you guys, and I've even seen it, my coworkers seen it in action, is you guys are just an army. You're a team. Yeah. You are just out there going after it, and you're not leaving it up to one guy, which a lot of times, let's be honest, Johnny, that's the situation out there in the real estate, amongst the industry, among realtors. It's one person working from home on their phone or on their laptop, and they're trying to make everything happen for all of their clients. They're out there with the signs the weekends. Yeah, you've been there and done that, and you've figured out that, hey, having a team that of experts that know what they're doing, that's the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even down to like we have a guy who does trusts. He can do trusts, get them turned around for you in about 10 days for $1,800. Like an attorney will charge you $3,000 to $5,000. These are legitimate, bulletproof trusts that will help protect your family, and just something as simple as just reaching out to us, and we can help you get that set up. And so a good example would be Michael Jordan. He was on the Bulls for a long, long time, right? But he wasn't winning championships. What did he end up doing? They ended up bringing on other talent, and then they created this team.
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback that played for the Patriots for a long time?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. So he was a quarterback. Most decorated quarterback, like most Super Bowls won. But what he was doing that most people was pissing off other quarterbacks was he was taking about 40% less of what his salary could have been.
Oh, really?
And they were actually filling up like a strong second string. They were bringing on strong players with those extra funds so he could have a stronger team.
There you
and
go.
so what Tom realized a while back, and what Valerie and I have come to realize, is as a solo agent, you are responsible for making sure the sign's installed, scheduling the photos, doing the marketing, following up with showings, following up with your clients, doing market updates, doing the paperwork. There's over 100 pages of paperwork.
Yeah, crazy.
Like that leaves that individual very little time to actually work with the client, to actually find a buyer for that home, to actually find, if that person's looking to purchase a home, to find the right home for that buyer.
Right.
And so what we do is we have a team of people that help us with all that, so that we can focus on servicing the individual.
That's awesome.
And that's why we.
So what if someone's listening and maybe they are that person out there that's just trying to hustle it? They are working 24/7 and they're just not getting ahead. They don't have time because they're putting the signs out and the paperwork is just overwhelming, and they want to hustle. They've got that attitude, but they want to tap into some of the resources that you have and maybe even join your team. Do you guys have any openings where someone can join the Made for More Realty team?
Yeah, we do. And so that we are selective. We don't take anybody, but do not let that deter you from reaching out. So if you want to reach out, just call or text us at 530-GET-MORE, 530-GET-MORE, or if you want to just take us for a test drive, like not even reach out to us, just kind of be a fly on the wall and see what it is we're all about.
Oh, that's cool.
Every Thursday at our office, so if you just Google Made for More Realty, you see our office address. Every Thursday from 10 to 11, we have a big meeting. There's anywhere from 40 to 60 people
Really?
there. If you're just one person, even if you come with like a group of people, like 3, you'll just blend in. We won't even know you're there. And you can see us, you can meet me, you can not meet me, you can hear what we're talking about, you can hear how we're helping agents, and really just, again, take us for a test drive and say, hey, is this something that I would want to align with? Does their culture fit my culture? Do their ethics match my ethics?
Right.
And so that's
And
Thursdays.
what's great is also you guys are brokered by EXP.
Oh, yeah.
And EXP is just the fastest, the biggest,
It's a great place to work. It's definitely a great place to work. They have a strong comp plan. A lot of top producing agents have moved over there.
Yeah, a lot.
Simply because they're making more money.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing and they're just making more money over there.
Right.
And so there's lots of support for the agents too. So if you're new and you're looking, we can help you with that. If you're a seasoned agent and you're looking to just make some more mony in this economy. Any economy is a good economy to make more money.
Right.
But right now it's really important with sales being down. Just check us out. We're broker, like we want, stay where you're at. If you come to our team meeting on Thursday and you learn something and you can take that back to your office and make money with it, that's totally fine. We want you to do that. But if you decide, hey, you know what? I'd like to, plug into this a little bit more, then by all means, reach out.
Okay, cool. How do they find that meeting information
So just
again?
go to madeformorerealty.com and you'll see our address, and every Thursday from 10 to 11.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're listening right now and you're thinking, I wonder what kind of offers Johnny Jennings could get me for my home, well, reach out and find out that he'll sell your home on average 27% faster than everyone else, and on average for a 3% higher purchase price than other realtors. Expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty, brokered by EXP. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 581837.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by EXP Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So we have this beautiful office downtown or in Roseville, and
Why is it beautiful? Describe it to us.
it is stunning. Like we get so many compliments on it. Why it's beautiful?
Does it have a gym?
There is a gym, not
Okay.
like in like our working area, but there is a gym on site.
How is the break room? That's the big thing.
They have a good coffee machine.
Okay, just a coffee machine? Do you guys have a
coffee
vending
machine.
machine? Do you have a snack bar? Do you have...
There's no vending machine. Everything's free. It's like Google.
Oh, wow.
There's all this free food.
I'm sold. Let's go right now.
Well, Christina's been there.
Christina Mendonza from
Yeah.
ABC 10.
Yes.
Oh, wow,
She's
okay.
come. I don't know why you haven't been able to make it out yet. We gotta send the
I'm a
limo.
busy guy, Johnny. I'm trying to make things happen.
Yeah, man about town.
No, well, you just needed to tell me everything's free in the kitchen and I'd be there.
Oh, there's some
I'm all
good
about
snacks.
the food.
There are
you know?
some good snacks in
So
there.
you guys are right near the Chick-fil-A on Pleasant Grove and 65, right?
Correct.
So
Yep.
if I can't get my fill at your kitchen, I'll just head over to Chick-fil-A.
Yep, and there's a Sonic right across the street. There's a Starbucks nearby, and I know this is really important to you. There's a cigar lounge within walking distance.
Oh, now it's clear
Yep.
why you chose that piece of property.
Man, I didn't pick it. Brent
because
picked it.
I'm going to assume that you guys are more in the cigar lounge than you are actually in the office.
I used to be, but not
Do
these
they
days.
deliver?
The cigars?
Yeah.
No. I'm trying to actually get access to the roof. I think it'd be fun to have access to the roof.
To the roof where your building is?
And just be able to hang out there,
that's
put an
nice.
easy up. And
Because you're not the only tenant in the building then,
oh,
right?
no. Our office is a decent size. It's over 7,000 square feet. But there's hundreds of thousands of square feet. It's those two big buildings right there. But there's beautiful glass windows like all along one side of the building. There's like there's 4 private rooms, like conference rooms. One seats like 25, one seats 12. Like it's absolutely stunning. But you should come by sometime and check
Christina
it out.
Mendonza just has nothing going on. So she's trying to find ways to kill time.
Oh my gosh.
And to fill up her calendar where I'm a busy guy. I've got 3 kids. I'm going to be a soccer coach.
That's true. She
Do
is
you
an empty
realize how
nester.
busy that is?
She is an empty nester.
Yeah.
So she's got
I'm
that.
just playing. We all love Christina Mendonza.
We do. So she gave this presentation.
She's a legend here in Sacramento.
Legend, and she's done a lot for like women's business as well.
That's right.
Which is really like, obviously I'm a dude, but I work with
Thanks for clarifying that.
primarily females. Like there's your average realtor.
Why
is like
that?
50, 55.
So would you say the real estate industry is a female-dominated arena?
As far as agent count, absolutely.
Why is that?
People like women better.
Is that what it is?
Women can multitask.
So you would say that women do better in real estate than men financially?
Man,
Because if you look at the top, the top, right?
Yeah.
When you say it's mostly dominated by men, though.
Yep. The teams tend to be dominated by men, and then there's women working on the teams. Not all of them. Like there's some strong teams out there that are led by females. But you look at Remax, Dave Liniger, Keller Williams, Gary Keller, Compass, I forget the guy's name, but it's a dude. EXP, it's Glenn Sanford.
And you got Tom Daves and Brent Gove,
Barbara Corcoran, but then she sold, and it's
right.
I don't know who runs it now, but
from the Shark Tank.
Yeah, from Shark Tank. But
just people like working with women.
I think there's certain skill sets different people bring to the table, and in terms of like being hospitable, multitasking, being productive, getting a lot done, that's where like people love working with Valerie.
Right.
My wife.
Well, it's a people industry. It's about relationships, right? And women are known naturally. That's how they're born, to be good at relationships.
Yeah, they're more about tea parties, and the dudes are more about like let's
get it done.
Let's
sell your house. Let's get the most money possible.
Let's shoot a squirrel. Dudes are more.
Let's go have a cigar.
Let's go have a cigar. But yeah. So what's really crazy right now in the real estate world? So if you're listening and you're a real estate agent, you can probably. This will resonate with you, but it seems like it's the rich and the rest. So there's very few agents succeeding, but they're succeeding at such a high level, and then there's just everybody else, all the other agents. In 2023, so last year.
So what you're saying is what a lot of certain politicians would say is when it comes to real estate, there's no middle class.
Oh, there's definitely no middle class.
Okay. So there's the rich and those that
and
are
the rest.
in poverty.
Yep. And your typical realtor makes like 55, like the national average is something like $55,000 a year.
Okay.
You would make more working at In-N-Out than you would be as a real estate agent. And
that's a lot of overtime.
Not if you're doing like what are they at? Like 20
something dollars an hour.
Bucks an hour. Yeah.
There you go.
And so but anyways, so the rich and the rest. And what does this have to do with like real estate agents? Well, why are they winning? Who are they associated with? What systems and tools? What are their daily habits? Like there's a reason why they're winning. It's not magic, right? There's not like a magic wand that
They're
win.
not just naturally more talented. They're smarter. You're not saying that's the case?
Absolutely not. I would say the top producers have less talent and are dumber than everybody else. Like I am not the smartest dude by any stretch, but we're selling a home on average every 3 days. I am not the smartest guy. But I have people in my corner who are. And it's those people that are helping our clients and that are helping move this business forward.
I think that's true of anyone who succeeds in business. You know, if you look at Tesla, if you look at Amazon, if you look at Microsoft, I think all of those guys would admit that they are not the smartest. Maybe they grew to be smarter, but that's because they hustled. I think you would agree, right? It's those that hustle and that are hustling 24/7 that are eager and hungry. And I think that's true of whatever business you're in, whether you're a business owner of not even real estate, of any type of business. It's those that hustle and hustle that do well. It's not necessarily always the most. I think that's true of every industry in our world. It's not the most, even if you look at the entertainment industry, right? Oftentimes it's luck is involved, but it's not always the talented people that are doing well in Hollywood. It's the ones that are lucky and the ones that are hustling or have the relationships.
So I heard this this old guy told me one time. He was very successful, and he said, Johnny, what a lot of young people will tell you is who are successful is they were successful because they hustled, because they worked harder than everybody else. But as people get older in life, the older, more successful people will tell you, yes, I worked hard. Yes, I hustled. Yes, I did all that. But there was also some luck involved.
Sure, yeah.
And so whether that's divine or whether it is just, luck of the draw.
Who you met, who you had the opportunity to develop a relationship with.
And so what I try to do is because Valerie and I got started really young. So if she was, I think, 21 when she was licensed and I was 24. And people were looking at it like, are you old enough to have a license, Valerie? Like,
right.
Can you even drink?
Do you have a driver's license?
Yeah, exactly. And so
kids nowadays don't get their driver's license till they're 35.
Because we were so young, I was so focused on what are the older people doing. Like, I want to learn from them. I don't want to take 20 years, 30 years to gain this experience to then, when I'm 20 or 30 years older, be able to cash it in and be successful. Like, what are the old people doing? And so I'm always trying to look at what is somebody with more experience and knowledge and perspective, what would they say to their younger self? What would they say to me? And essentially what it comes down to is, and this isn't just me, this is actually one of the top coaches in the country, top real estate coaches in the country. His name's Tom Ferry, over 75,000 hours. The dude's worth a ton of money. He knows what he's talking about. And after coaching for over 75,000 hours, so it takes you 10,000 hours on average to be an expert. He's done that in excess of 7 times. And what he found is that in order to be successful in real estate, and this probably translates to other businesses as well, is one, ambition. You have to want it. You absolutely have to want it. So what's your ambition? And he said, number 2, the reason why you're probably not succeeding or you're not hitting those higher goals is you're earning exactly what you need to be comfortable. So if that number is 50,000, if that number is 100,000, if that number is 500,000, you're earning exactly what you need to be comfortable. That's why you're not pushing in and growing into a new category. And so after 75,000 hours, so if you're in real estate and you're thinking, man, why am I not succeeding? 1, what's your ambition? And 2, are you comfortable? Are your bills paid? Is there gas in the car, food on the table, and you have some time off on the weekends? I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong. Everybody has different goals. Not everybody wants to work the same amount, or everybody wants to make so much money, but that's probably your rev limiter. And then something, I've said this before and I'll say it again, you have to identify your what. So everybody talks about the why, right? Like why?
Well, that's your ambition, wouldn't you say?
Ambition's why. Like, why do you want to do all this? Exactly, it's totally the why. I want to provide for my family. I want to retire my parents. I want to send my kids to college. I want to travel. Like, essentially,
sure.
You hear the same 10 to 15 things. But where you deviate is the what. What is somebody willing to sacrifice to get their why? Like, that's the gap. You have to bridge that gap, and you're bridging that gap from where you are and where your goals are with the what.
So what's been your what to be successful, to be where you're at?
You have to sacrifice friendships. You have to sacrifice.
Hold on a second. I want to write these down. So you've had to sacrifice friendships in order to get to where you're at.
In order to grow.
What do you mean by sacrificing friendships?
So if you have friends who are working a regular job Monday through Friday and they have nights and weekends off and they want to hang out.
Okay.
No, I can't, man. I'm working.
Okay.
Or I have an appointment. And then what happens is as you start seeing success, and they're stuck where they're at, which may be they may be happy where they're at, but now there's a difference between where they were at and where you were with them, like you were together in that same spot, and now you're over here. There's a gap.
Okay.
And so what they'll try to do is they'll try to pull you back to where they are, and you have to continue on your own life's journey because you have your own goals.
Right.
And that separation is what sometimes.
So friendships, what else?
Friendships. So health. I used to be 45, almost 50 pounds heavier. Sacrificed health. It was just easier to eat what was readily available.
Gotcha.
You have to sacrifice a lot of money. Like people are blown away when I peel back the curtain and say, hey, this is how we're investing in our agents. This is what we're doing. These are the tools we provide.
Right.
This is how we support. There's a lot of people who are not willing to take that financial leap, or they don't believe in their people enough to invest in them. Right?
Yeah.
But for whatever it is, they're not willing to open their checkbook and write checks. And this is something that I will not sacrifice, but I've seen other people do it, is family. Like how many people do you know who have a lot of money, who have successful businesses, but are divorced?
Right.
Or maybe they're married, but their kids hate them.
Right.
And that's like this is so. Again, you have to identify what is it you're willing to sacrifice in order to get where you want to go. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that's the line in the sand. I heard it. Brent Gove says it to us all the time, and he says, your business is like a rubber ball. You can bounce that rubber ball, you can juggle it, you drop it occasionally, pick it back up, and you can continue on with your business. But your family is like a crystal ball. If you drop that ball, there's no putting it back.
Ooh.
You may be able to glue it back together, but it's not going to look the same
Wow.
as before you broke it.
That's pretty profound. I like that.
So anyways, yep, that's what we're seeing. And so if you're a real estate agent and you are wanting, and you know what your what's are, you have ambition and you're wanting to succeed, but you're not feeling like you're getting the support, you're not feeling like you're seeing the results where you're at, go ahead, reach out to us, give us a call. Just call or text 530-GET-MORE. That's 530-GET-MORE. Or just Google us and see what we're all about. You can see us on madeformorerealty.com.
Hey, if you're listening right now and you're thinking, I wonder what kind of offers Johnny Jennings could get me for my home, well, reach out and find out that he'll sell your home on average 27% faster than everyone else, and on average for a 3% higher purchase price than other realtors. Expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty, brokered by EXP. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 581837.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by EXP Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
It is hot.
That's right.
Like, I can't remember the last time it was this hot.
But enough about me.
Enough about you, Matt.
Let's talk about the weather.
Let's talk about the weather. No, it is so ridiculously hot.
How long have you lived in Sacramento?
Since 2018, January of 2018.
Okay. And before that, you lived in Dalinga?
Dalinga? Oh my gosh.
Kalinga,
whatever,
sorry.
Man. Yeah, no, Kalinga.
And Bakersfield. And those get really hot as well.
It is, but I thought I was moving north. I thought it was going to be a little bit cooler, but
it's not.
Triple digits for this long is ridiculous.
Feel like we're in the midst of global warming?
Yeah.
Yeah, no? I mean, it is. I mean, last year we had a pretty moderate summer. Yeah. But this year we've had a number of big heat waves. And so that's why it's even more important to find ways to cool off, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of ways. Movie theater, bowling alleys.
Sunsplash.
Pools, yeah, sunsplash.
We're not too far from Lake Tahoe or the beach.
Yes.
Get out of town.
You want to cool off, jump in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, there you go.
That's some cold water. But do you have a pool at your house?
We don't have a built-in swimming pool, no. So back in the year 2011, when I was looking for a home, there were a number of properties that had pools.
Yeah.
And they were nice, but I just started to think about, okay, I don't have any kids, but I'm probably going to have kids in the next few years because I was seeing someone and she was going to be my wife. And
I thought they were your stalker. Was this the stalker
no,
or was this somebody else?
Not the stalker.
Okay.
No. So I looked at a number of properties that had pools, but I was just thinking, and I was actually talking to people that had pools and even different experts like, okay, what's the maintenance on a pool?
So you grew up without a pool?
We did not have a pool. Nope,
Okay.
never had a pool when
So
I was
it's
growing up.
totally foreign to
We'd go
you.
down to the public pool, or we'd go down to the river, or go to the ocean.
Run through the sprinklers at the park.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Ever heard of a thing called a slip and slide?
Yeah.
Those were big back in the day. You get all bruised up from
Good times.
Yeah. Water balloon fights. But when I was looking at different properties, I'd ask people, okay, well, what's the investment? How much energy cost is it going to be? How much is my bill going to go up because I have a pool?
Yeah.
You know, what are the costs to cleaning it? How much does it cost to have a pool person come out on a regular basis? And I thought, you know what? Not right now. I don't want to invest in a property that has a pool because I just don't feel like it's a necessity. And it takes up, I'm a big backyard person. I like lots of room in the backyard.
What do you do?
You play.
Like cornhole
I'm just a
or-
kid person. Yeah. What kids running around,
Tag,
yeah,
football.
outdoor just living. I like
Okay.
outdoor living and stuff. And a pool, oftentimes when you have a pool, unless you have a really expansive property, the pool takes up a considerable amount of your backyard.
It does, yeah.
And I didn't like that. And, you know, and yeah, you're right. It is cool for pool parties and all that kind of stuff. But what if nobody's in? I've been to many pool parties and nobody's interested in going swimming. So
That's
the
true.
pool has just taken up all of the real estate. So I thought, you know what? I just don't feel like a pool is a good option. But what's your perspective as a real estate agent? Do you think pools are a good idea?
So we talk to people all the time with pools, without pools, and depending on where people are in their life journey, their life cycle, you'll get different answers. So when they have kids, like I would say 5 to 12 years old, people love pools.
Yeah, like I want one now.
Yeah.
Because we have kids and
They're between 5 to 12.
yeah,
Right.
So we're doing water balloon fights. We have friends that have pools, so we're over there at their house.
Going to
very
their
often.
house.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, but people whose kids are maybe in high school, and older or gone aren't so interested in the pools.
But also, these gyms like Lifetime Fitness, CalFit, they have like these pools that are like water parks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are looking, you know, why do I need a pool? We have some friends that live in a community that has like a community
Yep. Some
pool
HOAs
park.
have pools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a better route. I don't know.
Yeah. So we get a lot of questions too, though, is like, how much is the pool going to improve my value, the value of my home? And, you know,
If they have someone come in and put in a pool.
if they have one in there, or if like we're sitting down and they already have a pool installed and we're showing them comps and they're like, well, this house doesn't, like comparable sales, to compare like their house to other homes that have sold recently in the area. And they're like, well, that house doesn't have a pool, or my pool is better than that pool, you know, and they're trying to assign a certain dollar amount to the pool. It's really, really hard. Like we have some dear friends who, probably the most beautiful pool I've ever seen. Like it is stunning. Like not only like the size, not only the way it looks, but the layout of it. Like it is like the perfect pool. And they were asking me, so how much do you think this cost X? How much do you think it's gonna increase the value of our home?
Oh, they paid to have it done.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful pool. And their kids are out there, the families are out there. We're doing like holiday events there now because they have this beautiful pool, and it's really a tough thing. There's not like a defined number, so you can't say, hey, it's going to increase. Like if the pool costs you $100,000, it's going to increase your value by 50. I will say it's not a dollar for dollar thing, and so that's where most people get let down. But so if you're considering putting in a pool as an investment, and that's the only reason why, I would caution you against putting the pool in.
Sure,
but if you're
of course.
if you're going to put the pool in because you want to use it, you've always wanted one, your family's going to use it, you're going to get decades of use out of it, then by all means put it in. But then, like you mentioned, there's the utilities, the utility increase, there's the cost of the chemicals, there's the cost of the water, there's the cost of the maintenance, and then there's the parts, the pool pumps and stuff go out. You know, and those aren't cheap to get replaced. And so when you're trying to determine the value of a pool, like you have to look at the system and say, hey, does the pool need to be replastered? Are there any cracks?
Right.
Is there tile missing? How old's the pool pump? Like that all will determine the value of the pool. But if you're looking for just straight and cut, simple, like easy math, like to give you a ballpark of, hey, if I put a pool in, how much will impact the value of my home? somewhere between, what we're hearing is somewhere between 5 to 10% of the home's value. So let's say the home is worth $1 million. That pool is going to improve the value by either, what is that, 50 grand?
5,000?
50 grand or 100 grand.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right? So, that's 5 to 10% is not an insignificant amount of money, but if you have $1 million house, that pool probably costs you somewhere north of 100 grand to put in.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
interesting.
And it depends on the age.
It just seems like where we're living here in Sacramento, where it's hot almost every summer, it seems like pools are more and more desirable. But again, it just depends on what life stage you're in and
life stage, size of the backyard,
what
how
your
old the
preferences
pool is.
are. Yeah. So, but it does add value to the home. So if you have a home and you have a pool, wouldn't you agree that it would add value to your property than compared to the other house that doesn't have a pool?
Homes with pools tend to sell for more money, but I guess what we're trying to determine is it are you net positive on that? And really, it just depends on how long you've had the pool and the condition of the pool. Because if your monthly payment is on your utility bill $800, and now you're averaging $200 more, like being conservative here, an extra $200, that's $2,400 a year.
Yeah.
Over how many years? Not counting water, not counting chemicals and equipment.
Yeah.
So are you really money ahead?
Right.
So they're a bit of a money pit.
So just get a membership to some place that has a pool, right? Or become good friends with a person on your block that has a pool.
Yeah.
Get to know Johnny Jennings and his friend that basically has the best pool in America.
The best pool in America.
Yeah.
Oh man,
what is it in the shape of a guitar or something? Oh my gosh.
It's rectangular, but like because we have young kids.
It was designed by Michael Phelps.
It was designed by M. Phelps, yeah. So he I love it because there's a deep end, but then there's a lot of a shallow end, so people can walk and talk, like just hang out in the pool. And then there's this massive, really shallow spot where you can just basically sit, or the little kids can splash around in.
Nice.
Without needing their floaties on up around their neck and
right.
bobbing. And so it's fun for a lot of different, and it has a built-in spa, and so you can just slide in from the
cool.
shallow spot
Yeah.
into the built-in spa. So, and it has, it's so nice. It's so nice. So
there you go.
Yep, that's what I love pools.
You know what though? The American River's not bad either.
No, and
Discovery Park.
You get to go out.
I'm just kidding. There is absolutely no comparison. I don't think I would ever go down to Discovery Park or recommend it.
Well,
have you ever been down to Discovery Park?
I don't get out much, man, unless there's a house attached to it. I'm not going.
Get out much.
Yeah, no, but I was training for. I swam from Alcatraz to.
Did you really?
To shore one year, yeah. So for my birthday, I like to do something challenging, and so I was like, hey, let's just do that. And so I trained in Lake Natoma.
Wow.
And so
we'll have to talk about that on your next show.
On the next one.
Your adventures in swimming to Alcatraz.
Yeah, I kicked a shark. On that note, thanks for hanging out with me today, Matt. It was great seeing you.
All right.